On this week's live stream, we unveil our amazing new Scratch game tutorial series and talk to its creator. Mr. T does an extreme makeover on a popular space game. Strut your stuff by remixing a 3D meme project in Scratch. And Ben's Time Traveler series is back with a look forward at games of the future. All this and more coming up. Hey, and welcome back to the Chromeworks live stream. I'm Andrew Tomek, your technology teacher, back with all kinds of fun stuff today. Very excited today. Who's on the stream there? Kian, mute your mic, buddy. Kian. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, really excited this week to be releasing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the part 1 of our newest tutorial series from Chromeworks. Very excited. You guys saw the trailer last week, and it's a fantastic new 2-player project. I am so impressed by Ben's work here. This is a Nintendo classic and one of the most famous fighting games of all time. A great little cross-platform thing that features all kinds of famous characters from the Nintendo world. Ben has got 5 characters in here: Mario, Kirby, Pikachu, Link, and Bowser. And at the end of this tutorial series, we're going to be coming out with another video showing how you can put other characters into this and just increase the pantheon of characters who'll be showing up in this video game. So let's go have a look at it right now. So here's the Chromeworks live stream page at chromeworks.ca/live, I think. You can just click on the live stream link to get to it. And from here, you can find the starter file that has all of the components that you're going to need to make this game yourself and follow along with Ben's tutorial. We're trying a different format this week. Ben is trying some different stuff with his teaching, and I also decided, along with my video editor Cam, to go with a lower length for the first video to try and get more eyes on it. So our first part is only 15 minutes long. Give it a try and have a look at it if you're interested. You can find it up on YouTube on this channel. It will be released at 11 o'clock. Meanwhile, if you want to get a look at what the finished game looks like, you can find the link right here as well. I'm hearing from my Discord people that you're having some trouble with the audio stream on Discord. Is that right? Ben, how's it going for you?
It's fine for me.
Okay, it must just be a local internet glitch. Okay, never mind. Anyway, all right, so let's have a look at Super Smash Bros. While I got you on the screen here, Ben, I'm going to play the game a little bit. It's a little difficult as a 2-player project, but you guys get the idea. So the idea is you choose your 2 players, click on the Ready to Fight button.
Ready, go!
And so your right character is controlled with your arrow keys and the L key, which is just the closest keyboard key to the arrows, and you can use that to attack. You can jump, and meanwhile Kirby this is Kirby on the left here, moves with WASD and the space key to attack. And there's some really nice mechanics here that work quite nicely for combat. I'm sorry I can't completely simulate the combat in this, but let's whack each other a little bit. You can see that there's jump backs, and when you hit someone a certain number of times, they get pushed backwards, just like that. And when they die, let's see if we can finish Link off here. They get tossed into a portal. Nice. And they rematerialize at the top of the screen and pop back. Beautiful game. Anyway, very customizable. Lots of interesting features in it. So I'd highly recommend you guys have a look at it if you like. So that is going to be released at 11 o'clock today. And Deck is telling me not to hurt poor Kirby because Thane, whose nickname is Kirby Boy, is going to be unhappy. I hear you, buddy. Okay, well, while we're talking to our Discord friends here, let's say hello to everyone who's here today. I just mentioned Deck over in England. Good morning, Deck. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to hear from you. Meanwhile, Abe over in Ohio is with us again. Abe's one of our newer members. Good morning, Abe.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Gamer Davey from Ottawa's here again today. Davey, your t-shirts are coming in this week, and I'll have your Davey won one of our t-shirt contests last week, so just to let you know that your t-shirt's on the way. Say hi if you like. And
Mr. P,
yes, Deck?
we have a new viewer called Yassine on YouTube.
On YouTube. Oh, well, hello, Yassine. I was just about to go over to YouTube once I got finished my other people. We have over on YouTube, we've got Yassine, who's a brand new viewer. I've never seen his name before. By all means, Yassine, if you want to tell us a bit about yourself, tell us how old you are and what city or country you come from. Always interested to have new members, Yassine. A big genius is here over on YouTube, and he's from Ottawa as well. Back to Discord. Kian is with us again this morning. Good morning, Kian the Awesome.
Good morning.
Good morning. And over in Florida, our regular content creator and Chromeworks coder extraordinary, crazy Kirby boy, Thane. Hi, Thane.
Hi, Mr. T.
So Thane, you're back again with another Minecraft tutorial. I didn't get to it in the not an intro. A little show off of Minecraft 1.17 again today, huh?
Yeah, I sent it in.
Yeah. We're running it. Sorry, I didn't get it into the preview, but we are going to be airing it later. So we've got the second of Thane's two-part series on the new Minecraft Caves and Cliffs update, which he's going to be bringing you in a little bit. Sorry, Thane.
I think I'm going to add 3 parts of this, and then I'll go back on to
Oh, good. Because I was wondering why there was no actual caves and cliffs in any of the material they had produced so far. Is that coming next week, Thane?
I can do a final one where I just explore a cave and find stuff and tell you about what he's in there. Maybe.
I'm just kind of curious about what. I guess some of the plants that you showed today are plants and things that you would find inside a cave. You showed candles as well, which are something you'd find in a cave too. I guess is that.
Candles are crafted.
Right.
They're just items, I suppose.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Anyway, so all right. Well, Thane's going to be continuing that series. I thought it was a 2-parter, but we're going to get another part next week or in the near future as well. Excellent. Okay, so while we're talking about about Super Smash Brothers, I wanted to give you guys a little closer look at the creator of the project, Ben. Ben has been a co-op student with me since the beginning of spring, and I just think he's done some great work with us. You'll be seeing the last installment of his Time Traveler documentary series on the history of consoles a little later, and Ben has been spending a ton of time during this co-op working on this labor of love for him, which is Super Smash Brothers. As he's going to tell you in a second, Ben has been playing this game since he was a little kid, and he just loves combat games. So I did a little sit down with Ben a little earlier in the week, and I wanted to show you a little bit about what his thoughts are on the game. Here we go.
Go!
All right, I'm here with Ben Tait, the creator of Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Scratch Edition. Congratulations, Ben. I've really been enjoying playing your game.
Thanks.
So Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be making games for Chromeworks.
So I'm Ben, obviously. I just turned 16 a few months ago. I go to Sir Robert Bourne High School, and I'm in grade 11, soon to be grade 12 now. And I did the co-op program. I was doing it online, so I was doing the co-op program last semester, and then I decided to keep on volunteering for the summer.
Nice. What drew you to co-op?
Well, I kind of know what I want to do when I'm older. Something along the lines of engineering, something like that. So co-op was just a chance for me to give it a shot, see what it was actually like in the workplace.
Yeah, so Ben has been doing some tremendous work here. He's been making tutorial videos, and he's produced a really great series for us called Time Traveler, which most of my viewers will probably have seen, where we're going into the history of consoles. So I guess you have a great attachment to consoles, Ben. Tell us about how this game came to be and what inspired you.
So there are a few things. One, it's Smash Bros. So I used to always play it as a kid. In fact, one of the episodes that I did in Time Travelers was on the Wii. And the Wii, I kind of talked about it a little bit. I used to always play with my sisters on the Wii, playing Smash Bros, things like that. And then when the newer one came out too, I played that a lot one too. That was really fun. And then another thing that inspired me to make the game was my first ever Scratch project was this like stick fighter game. I don't know, maybe it'll show footage. It was really, really bad. So having another crack at that was definitely fun.
Right, so just getting into, so you started off exploring kind of combat games and you just didn't know a lot about it. So I guess you learned quite a bit of Scratch while you were putting this project together. Tell me about some of the difficulties you had along the way. What kind of things challenged you?
Difficulties? Well, one, I'd never built anything on this scale before, so all the way down to like resourcing the sprites, getting things like that. I had never done anything kind of like that before, so I had to learn how to go find all the sprites. I had to go and do some photoshopping, getting all the other little bits and bobs done with the menu screen, all things like that. So that was definitely time consuming, getting all of that ready. In terms of coding, there was parts that were a little harder. There was one problem I knew I was always going to run into. That was having the 1 and 2 players, and player 1 always using WSD, and then player 2 always using the arrow keys. So that was a problem I knew I was always going to have.
Right.
I ended up fixing it thanks to Jeffrey.
Yeah, sorry. So my son Jeffrey helped you out with the coding quite a bit, and that was a good learning experience for you. So getting back to what you were just talking about, so yeah, the challenge when you're playing a 2-player game is how to make sure that one player is actually assigned to player 1. You're both playing an identical version of the game, right? So and yet one of you is playing in one role and the other one's playing in the other role. I guess you did that with variables, right? When you clicked on player 1, you set so all the code for all the players all had to be inside a conditional statement, basically an if statement.
Yeah.
So that if you clicked on player 1, then only this bit of the code would be viable, right? So in a lot of cases, I guess you coded everything twice. Once if I'm the main player and once if I'm player 2. Is that the way it happened?
Yeah, no, that's exactly. I think it's probably the easiest way to do it. It's pretty much just Control-C, Control-V, and an if loop. So I guess that it worked probably the best. But if it had been more players, it would have gone really, really complicated.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Yeah. Anything else about coding that you learned while you were making this project?
Funny enough, because I haven't really used Scratch too much. I didn't know how to use things like lists, so I'd never actually used them before. I'd use them, of course, in like Java, C++, other languages, because they're just like arrays and things like that. So I'd never actually used them before, so I actually got to try them out when I was doing the death effects, which was pretty fun to do.
So tell us how lists are involved in the death effect, just kind of briefly.
So I had to find a way to get the death effect to go to the character whenever they died, except because like each player doesn't actually, they do know what player they are, they do know if they're player 1 or player 2, but it's really confusing. Not other sprites don't really know if they're player 1 or player 2, so I have to find a way in order to get, this is really, sounds really confusing. I have to find a way for the death effect to know where to go and to know which player to go, if they're player 1 or player 2. So I ended up creating a list, and in the list it was just Link, Kirby, Pikachu. It was all the names of the characters, and then I can just use the player select, so which person they want to go to, and then correspond that to the position in the array, so that I can go to that character. It's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, so every time I start a new project, I find I learn something a little bit new about how to do stuff a little more efficiently in Scratch. So I'm glad this has been a good learning experience for you. What about the game are you most proud of, Ben?
Probably the fact that I think it kind of looks like the real Smash Bros. So trying to get all the menu screen looking how like I always remember it, things like that. I'm pretty proud of how that ended up turning out.
Kirby! Bowser. Ready? Go!
Yeah, it ended up looking quite authentic, actually. I was very impressed. Ben flipped a scene from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Scratch Edition into his latest Time Traveler video where he tried to pass it off as the original game, and I must admit that I was actually fooled for a second, Ben. Anyway, so very impressive. Nice work. Anything you wish you could put into the game that you didn't get a chance to?
Maybe just more characters. So adding in more characters, more arenas. Maybe not even Smash Bros. Characters, like random other characters that you can add in.
Right.
If I had more time, I'd definitely do that.
Yeah, so we've been talking about this a little bit off screen, and I think we're going to, after we finish this 3-part tutorial series, we're going to do a little added bonus lesson on how to add your own new characters and backgrounds to this game. So I'm looking forward to seeing that from you, Ben.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining me today, Ben. Congratulations on a fantastic project. Several people on the Scratch forums have already told me that your project is POG, which I take it means it's very good. So congratulations. I think this is going to get big views. So I look forward to having lots and lots of kids play it. Congratulations again, and thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Well, anyway, really very happy to be bringing you guys this new project. And as I said, the tutorial is going to be released at 11 o'clock today. That's part 1, which is a truncated, shorter part. And then we'll be getting back to you with more every week for, I believe, the next 3 weeks. Anyway, so we like to show off student work here, and I wanted to do a little bit of a profile here of Super Cannon 20, who's been a member of our group for quite a while now. He's probably still sleeping right now. He lives in Oregon, where it's about 7:20 a.m. right now, so he's probably still asleep in bed. But he's been doing some great work lately. He's actually a fairly high-profile member of the Scratch community and has many followers, actually probably more than I do. So lately he started up a second channel where he's been working on some art projects. And I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that he's been working on. I've been really impressed with it. So this is a brand new piece of art that he created a week or so ago, or maybe 2 weeks. And you can see it's a beautiful ship graphic. It's not animated or anything like that, but just a really lovely example of the kind of art that you can do, almost photorealistic art, very stylized and very cool, that Cannon has created here. Fantastic work. So Cannon's done a couple of other stuff, and we'll be showing you some more of his work as time goes on. He's also just finished creating a brand new drawing program, which I wanted to show you as well. It's called Sketch. And here it is right here. So it's a very simple program, actually, but it does a nice job. It's a little bit like an old-fashioned Etch-a-Sketch. So you can just click and draw here. There's a cool pop-up menu system here when we click on pen size, for example. We get a little slider and then hit spacebar to close it, as long as you're not clicking there. And then you can get a thicker pen here. And I'm going to share this one out, this URL out to my user community so you guys can have a look at it as well. So there it is in the YouTube chat, and I'm also pasting it into Ask Mr. T in Discord. There you go. And let's keep looking at this project right now. One funny little touch in the corner here is the Super Cannon logo in the corner, done a little bit like an Adobe app. This is exactly the same kind of system that Adobe uses to show their project. So I think that was a really cute little touch. So yeah, you can click on the colors here and get different colors. You can change the brightness of your ink. And you can change the color by clicking on any of these color things, or by moving the color slider around as well, like this. And just a fun little art project. There's a little trash can here that lets you start over again. And yeah, really nice work here. So congratulations to Cannon for another fine piece of work. Another member of the user community here we see every once in a while is FunnyAnimatorJim. He's a teenager from, I believe, upstate New York somewhere. And I wanted to show you one of his projects that's kind of cool. It's called Wide Walking. And it is actually a remake of a famous meme. I thought I would just show you guys the original meme that inspired this project. It's right here. So as you can see, it's just Vladimir Putin really stretched out and walking down a hallway. Who on Discord, have any of you guys seen this meme before?
Yeah, there's lots of like chess versions of them. Like they do like world champions and then they just make them wide walk.
Right.
I'm trying to find one.
Yeah, it's all good, Deca, but I do know it's something that's been widely copied all over. So it's a very, very popular meme. I don't think I've seen it up until just today, actually. Kian says there's one of him in a wrestling arena, and I'm just checking to see if anyone else had anything to say. So there's lots of these out there. Oh, Kian has just shown a wide walking. Yeah, here's another wide walking video example that Kian has up here. Anyway, so an interesting meme, and so I love the idea. Remember a couple of weeks ago we did a Rick Astley thing, and this is what made Jim think about his project that he'd done a while ago. So I love to see memes redone in Scratch version, and Jim has done a fantastic job here by putting the meme into a little 3D animation. Let me show you his version of it right here. So I'm going to paste the address for that into the chat here. And one of the things I really love about this project is how remixable it is. So let me give you guys a quick look at how easy it is to remix this project. I'm going to go into the C inside. I'd invite you guys too if you're interested as well. I'm going to get into the costumes.
The server is still...
Pardon me, Thane, I didn't hear what you said there.
Says the server is scratching his head. Maybe you need to send it without the full screen?
Maybe. Yeah, that's weird because...
It's working on YouTube.
It is a, Let's try, maybe it didn't copy properly. Let me try this one more time.
I think there's a mistake in the URL because it says like
yeah, full screen /1. Yeah, okay.
Full screen and /1.
Okay, so I've tried it again. I think that should work now. Can you guys let me know if that's working now?
It's working.
Okay, good.
It's working.
Excellent.
It's working.
Thanks, guys. Anyhow, so what I love about this project is how easy it is to remix. And if you guys want to have a look at the project at home, I want to show you what's going on here. So over in Sprite 1, which is our main character, you can see that Jim has basically copied all the body parts into different sprites here. And so... or it's different costumes, I should say, anyway. Now, they're not labeled except A1, B1. It's really important if you're going to modify this that you keep the labels the same because it's going to mess up if it's not. But let me just show you how easy it is to just draw a new character on top of this. So let's say I wanted to do a brand new head here. I can just delete this. I could put in a bitmap or something, like a picture of a famous person's head, for example. And you just have to draw something. I'm just going to get a simple circle here with a white fill and a black outline. And I'm just going to start drawing here. Let's draw this, and I'll draw a square. Now I'm going to delete the original drawing. Now stuff has to be aligned properly. So what I'm going to do here, let's move the body to the back. So what you do at this point is you start running the project, and you can see exactly... So let me, I should probably turn my volume down here before I blast you guys with this. All right. So you can see here that you can just rearrange these body parts in any way that you want to, and you kind of do it live. So I'm going to take this head here and move it up a little bit. You can see that as I rearrange it on the page, it actually rearranges live on the screen here. And so I can take these parts one by one and redraw them so that they properly fit. So let's have a look at the right arm here, and I will replace this with maybe a little Kirby oval shape here, and I'll drop it down. And again, you can see that you can update it live on the screen to make everything fit properly. So I'm just going to keep moving it around if I'm happy with it. Now I'm doing a fairly rough job here, but you can see that given a little bit of time, let me do the right hand here just to finish the effect here. So let's draw, oh no, the right hand is probably, so it's a little tricky to find out which body part is which, of course, here. But I'm looking for the hand here, I think. Oh, it's actually probably two parts, eh? So let me try, I think this is probably the right hand. Let me try moving it around. Yes, it is the right hand here. So let me try drawing another circle here. So fill it with a different color. Actually, we'll just make it white again and give it a white background or a black outline. And there we go. I'm going to replace that. And you can see how quickly we can put something together. So I'm going to give you guys a little challenge to see what you can do to remake this project. Jim already has a studio here. If you go looking at his Wide Walking project, he has a studio here called, it's just a remix studio. But I'm going to click into it right now and show you some of the other projects that it's actually a very, very popular studio. There's actually hundreds of remixes here. So if you've made something interesting, please do add it to this studio. And if you drop me a little note to let me know that you did it for me, I will show your project here. You can change the music up, change the graphics up. I just think it's a fantastic little remix opportunity. If any of you guys are interested in sending that to me, I'd love to post a remix of that here. If anyone gets anything done right now during the stream, I might show it right now as well. So do please give it a shot. A really fun little remix opportunity anyway. So I'm interested in seeing what else you guys can make out of this. Let me see what else there is. Are there any? I'd love to see one using photography. Oh, here's the Donald Trump one. Let's have a look at that. There you go. So there's a good example of the kind of wacky stuff that you can do with this, given a little bit of effort. So yeah, very, very cool. Okay, so I'm going to move on from there. If anyone has a remix that they want to do, it might take a bit of time. I would suggest you guys spend a little bit more time and do something cool with this anyway. All right, moving along, I have one more project I wanted to show you guys today that I thought was really cool. This is by a scratcher in Russia by the name of MicroRU. Has anyone seen this up on Scratch at all? It's a project called Earth, or Mir, I believe is the Russian word for Mir. No, is it?
It's on the front.
Anyway,
It's on the front.
so what I loved about this project was its simplicity. You can see the moon is just spinning around. There's only one control button, and that is this button here that just the space key. And what the space key does is it reverses the rotation, so that depending on which way so if you're careful enough as you're spinning around here, you can save the world from these incoming asteroids just by spinning this around. Super simple game concept. I love the idea of a one-button video game, and this thing's doing really well on Scratch. It's trending, and it's got over 37,000 views. So good work to MicroRU. But you can see it's a fairly simple project. It's got bitmap graphics and no sound effects at all. So I started looking at the project and went a little crazy today and did an extreme makeover. So I just thought I would show you guys my extreme makeover and give you a hint of some of the ways that we can take a project like this and spin it in new directions. Well, my extreme makeover screen is all messed up here, and I'm going to go back to my other screen, I think. There we go. Anyway, I have a little project here that I'm going to share with you guys, and it is called Meteor Storm. And I'm going to share the finished file with you guys, but I've got so let me post that into the chat here. And so what I've done is I've taken this game and I've kind of rewritten it from scratch, but just stealing his game concept, which is the idea of hitting the space key and having a shield fly around. I've substituted Scratch Cat into this project here, and I wanted him to look like he was floating in outer space a little bit. So I wanted to show you some of the work that I did to improve Scratch and make him look a little bit like he's floating in space. So when I click the green flag here, I wanted him to be wearing a space helmet. So what I did was I drew a helmet over here and I tried to place it on top of him. Now you can see that as soon as I place it, he's not transparent anymore. So I want to do a ghost effect on there. So one of the first things that I've done in my project here is I set this ghost effect to 50% and I move this space helmet to the front layer. And you can see as soon as I click the green flag, now he's got a transparent helmet on here, but the black parts are just not showing through here. Because I've made the helmet transparent, it's really hard to see the other parts of what I've drawn here. So the other thing I did was I grabbed a second piece of helmet here, which I'm going to show you. Let me show you the costumes for that. And that one, it's hard to see against the background here, but it's basically just the outline of the helmet. And this part is not going to be ghosted. I'm going to move it in front of the other piece in the code, so that the outline is still visible even though the surrounding thing is off center. You can see that the first thing that both the helmet and the second helmet piece do is they go to Scratch. And what I've done is basically make them align to Scratch's character. So you can see that I've got a quite nice looking helmet there now that works a lot better and still has some of those pieces intact even though they're transparent in the earlier version of it. So there we go. Now, another thing that I wanted to do here was to have Scratch kind of flopping around a little bit. He's floating in outer space, and I didn't want him stuck in one position. So if you guys remember my Scratch Basics tutorial, remember my Scratch Basics page, which you can find on my website here. Let me actually show that to you right now. So if you go to chromeworks.ca, and click on Scratch Basics, there's a whole bunch of tutorials here, and one of them is how to get cool swaying effects using the sine function, which is a complex math function. So you can go and watch the tutorial there that was produced by Ishan, one of my co-op students, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about this. But so I've got the code here right now, and so as you saw in that tutorial, if you've watched it, you can use the sine function to maneuver your character around in all kinds of different ways. I've used it in the point in direction command here. I've just got a variable that's changing by 1 every time. And actually, I'm going to do it inside Scratch first. So I've got my variable that starts at 0, and it changes by 1 every time we go around this loop here, basically. And inside there, we can tell it to multiply that variable that's going up by the sine of that variable. Now that gives you a number between -1 and 1, which doesn't make for a very dramatic effect. It's basically swaying back and forth gradually between -1 and 1. So it's going 1, 0.9, 0.7, 0.3 or whatever, and kind of in a way that kind of looks like a pendulum, where it goes faster towards the middle and then slows down at the end and then faster at the middle. So you can take that function and pop it into a point in direction, and it makes your character kind of sway around, as you can see here. You can change the multipliers around a little bit and get a more dramatic effect if you want to. Notice that I've added a 90 to the end of the code here, and that's because this is based on up-down. So right now he would be swaying up to down rather than left to right, and that's why I had to turn it 90 degrees on its angle to make the angles work properly. So I can take this number here and make it a bigger number, for example, and as you can see, it makes the sway effect bigger. Let's try doing it by like a way bigger number, like 50. And you can see that I get a much wider sway. So you can rearrange these numbers any way you want and create a really interesting sway effect here. Now, I've also taken his motion and added a sine function to that too, so that he will move left and right as he's wiggling. And the combination of these functions here makes it look a lot like he's floating in outer space. I really like this sine function for complex kind of swaying motions like this. Anything that you want to change, we could even change his size in here. Let me show you what that would look like if I change the size. I don't think I want to do it right now because it's going to mess up his helmet, though I could do the same thing inside the helmet as well. So let's go grab a set size. And I'm just going to duplicate all of this variable change here. So again, I'm going to go with the sign of my variable. And I think I need to multiply this by something to get it going here. So let's get a multiplier in here. Let's get a multiplication symbol. Where are you, buddy? Ah, there you are. And let's multiply it by 100 and see what that looks like. Whoa, okay, so this is a little more complicated than I thought it would be. All right, anyway, so you can use this sine function to change the size of your character around as well, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. Let's set his size back to the default, which I think was 75% is what I had it set for in this project. Yeah, or was it smaller than that? Let me have a look here. No, it looks like 50% of the original project. So let me flip them down to that. There we go, beautiful. All right, so we got our character swaying around. We have to take the exact same code and put it into our helmet as well, of course, because it's not swaying properly anymore. So let's go over to our helmet, and I've actually got the code pre-baked here for you. So we can add all of this code back in and put this repeat until block in here for both of the pieces of helmet code. And you can see that now the helmet is swaying around along with the character. You can see that the helmet's kind of bobbing around on his head. I did that on purpose. And what I did here is I took one of these numbers, the point and direction command here, and I fed a different number into it for the helmet. So the helmet is multiplying by 10. And scratch here is multiplying by 5. And what that does is it just offsets the helmet a little bit so that it's always a little bit behind the movement of the head. And it looks like his head is kind of swaying around inside his helmet like that a little bit. And I thought that was a fun little effect. All right, so let's have a look at this shield graphic here. I created this just by drawing a circle. Let me actually create a new sprite here just to give you guys a sense of how I created this. So I wanted to create a perfect circle. I just picked an empty fill, and then I picked a color for my thing and a nice wide outline here. So imagine it was like this, maybe a little thicker than this. And if you want to draw a perfect circle, remember that you have to hold down the shift key in Scratch. So I'm going to draw a circle to around the size that I want it to be. It's hard to see against here because I've drawn black, of course. Maybe I should draw red here instead. There we go. Now we can see this arc that I've created here. And let's center it. So I'm going to grab it and center it into the sprite here like this. Whoa. So if I drag it over, it should pop into the middle like that. Beautiful. Now this is a little bit big, but you get the idea anyway. So now now that it's centered, I can start spinning it around, but I only wanted it to be part of the circle. So I'm going to convert to bitmap mode here, which will make it an image that can actually be erased. And then I'm going to pick a nice big eraser, maybe a 100-point eraser. And I'm going to make all of this invisible except for the part at the right here. Now, how much of it or how little you erase depends on how easy or how hard you want this game to be. So I can make it maybe around that size or so. And I think that the one that I did in the original project might be a little bit big. I wanted you guys to be able to customize it. So if you want the game a little bit harder, I would suggest shrinking it a bit. I'm going to go ahead and delete this now because I've shown you how to draw it anyway. Let's go and have a look at the shield code. So like all the rest of the code in this project is running basically on a repeat until loop. Now I could have done a forever loop here and told it if cat hit points are less than 1, then stop. But I decided to do this repeat until thing, and you'll see this same thing repeated in every single one of the characters here. So the game's just going to continue running until the hit points get down to 0, less than 1. We always do less than 1, you'll remember, so that if we hit 2 characters at once and we get -1 hit points, it'll still end the game, right? And we're trying to toggle back and forth in our speed. So I've got an if statement here that says if spin direction, a new variable called spin direction. If it's 0, then we're going to turn one way, and if it's not 0, we're going to turn the other way. And so that allows us to, every time we hit the space key, flip that variable, and that's what we're doing right here. So we're basically sitting here waiting until that space key is pressed, and then until you let it go. You can accomplish the same thing probably just by doing a when space key pressed keyboard command here. So let me show you that either way will work here. So right now this is the original method. Oh, it's still not completely hooked up here. Let's have a look at what's missing. So let's click the green flag. I just haven't clicked the green flag yet. So you can see that when I click the space key, the direction variable gets flipped to the other number, and it starts spinning in the opposite direction. You can control this if you just mash the button enough. You can keep the guy spun in any one direction, and that's part of the challenge of playing this game, of course, is finding a way to keep clicking on the space key so that you can control the movement. Even though the movement is basically out of your control, all you can do is change its direction. You can still do some fairly fine controls on your movement here. All right. Abe. Okay, Abe, I'm going to get to your project in a second. I will show it in a minute, buddy. Thank you. All right, so that's how the directional movement thing goes. How do we get it spinning around this circle? Well, it's just based in the way that this thing is designed. Because our object here, let me change its color again so you can see it a little better. Because it's centered here, as soon as we try to spin it, it will always spin in the direction, it'll always spin an orbit around that middle spot on the screen, basically. So if I try and change its direction here, let's go turn 15 degrees. You can see that every time I tell it to spin, it will spin around the central point here and keep going around. You guys might remember that from my circular shooter tutorial. I did something similar here. And if I make it go in the opposite direction, -15 degrees, you can see how it'll spin the opposite direction around my character here. Beautiful. All right, so that's all that's happening in the shield here, and most of the action is happening inside my Meteor sprite, and let me show you that right now. And so my Meteor sprite basically is creating clones of itself. So at the beginning, we're setting our cat hit points, and we're hiding the main character. You can see that I've got a whole bunch of costumes here for my Meteor. I've just got a random number of costumes here, so I've drawn 4 different costumes for it. You could draw more if you wanted to. And I've used a little bit of a gradient effect to make them look a little bit fancier than your normal ones. I've also got this little arrow-shaped sprite costume here that you can see. I've just turned it red here so you can see it a little bit better. And that's going to appear at the edge of the screen. One of the things I didn't like about the other version of the game that I'm making this off of is it's really difficult to tell where the other asteroids are coming from. So what this is going to do is give us a little preview of what direction our radar is telling us our bad guys are coming from. I also have an explosion graphic here, which I've just basically done by copying one of these guys and tearing it apart using my drawing tools here. I'll give you an example of that. I can just grab any of these pieces, pick it up, spin it around, and toss it around like that. And I can use that to create an explosion graphic that starts off kind of in one spot here and then grows a little bit, but then starts to disappear, and I erase progressively more of it until it's gone. Now, so I did that as a 3 costume animation, but you can do that in as many costumes as you want to do a realistic explosion. So that's a simple way to take a sprite and turn it into an explosion. I do like the idea of having spaceships and things explode that way. All right, so let's carry on with the code here. I'm going to move the costume back to one of my asteroids here so you can see it on the screen again. So when we're going to start this guy in the middle. Now, in the past, I've had a lot of difficulty with how to make characters randomly spawn at the edge of the screen. The old way I used to do this was basically pick a random number from 1 to 4. If I pick a 1, then pick a random space from between the top and the top left and the top right of the screen. And if I roll a 2, I pick a random space between the top right and the bottom right of the screen, etc. And so that's a ton of code to do something that actually turns out to be really, really good. Kian, I'm going to get to the Wide Walker remix in a little bit. So it looks like a couple of our students are working on Wide Walker remixes. We've got one from Abe and one from Kian. So I'm really excited to show those in a couple of minutes as soon as we're done this little tutorial here. Okay, so we're creating a clone of ourselves right at the beginning here because it's going to be a delay before the first guy shows up on the screen because of our new radar system. So that's why I wanted to get a clone in right away. And then after that, we're basically repeating for the length of the game, and we're waiting a random amount of time between ½ second and 2.5 seconds, and then creating a clone of ourselves. Now, when the clone gets created, we're going to switch to costume 5, which is this little arrow costume. And so what's going to happen is we're going to the first look you're going to get at this asteroid is going to be this little arrow. Now we want to get the arrow position on the edge of the screen, but it turns out to be a little trickier than we thought it would be. What we do here is, in order to get, as I mentioned, there's a more complicated way to get guys distributed randomly across the screen, but we're using a new way that I learned from Jeffrey here that's really awesome, which is basically move your asteroid to the middle of the screen, which is where we put it. We've got it at position 0, 0 here, and then rotate it in a random direction while it's still in the middle of the screen, and then send it shooting it off the screen. Now we have to move it 300 steps because the diagonal distance from the center of the screen to the corner is actually 300 pixels. It's a little wider than the actual screen itself. So we have to move it 300 pixels, and it doesn't matter that it's too far. If we're moving up, it's only 180, but it'll get stuck at the edge of the screen there. So now everything's touching the edge of the screen, and then we flip it around, and we'll automatically be facing towards the middle of the screen here. So that little technique, this couple of sprites here, does the same thing that the whole big complicated if statement that I said that I was doing back in the past works. And so this is a really cool way to do this. Now we're going to be stuck in a position here where we're going to be telling it to the asteroids to disappear when they hit the edge of the screen. But the bug that I ran into in the program that stopped my asteroids from appearing is the fact that they're already on the edge of the screen. So if I do a if touching edge right now, it's not going to work. So what I did was I moved these guys forward 15 steps, which is basically enough to get them onto the edge, appearing on the edge of the screen and not touching the edge. So let me show you that right now. So now every time a new asteroid appears on the screen, it appears right on the edge. So this move to 15 steps is actually just to get it into the screen far enough that it's not clipped by the edge of the screen, basically, right? We're going to do something else here, actually, to make sure that it doesn't collide with the edge of the screen. So I've got my asteroids appearing here. I've got my little markers. And now I want to basically wait 2 seconds. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to register in your mind where the new asteroid is coming from. Then we're going to get him to pick a costume. So between 1 and 4, and that's our 4 asteroid costumes. And here's where we're doing that get away from the edge technique. So before we start looking for the edge, we're just going to get it to move forward at a speed of 5 times. So that's going to get it 25 pixels into the screen. Let me show you that, and then it'll stop. So we're getting the asteroid far enough onto the screen. Here's our first asteroid appearing, and you can see it basically gets it far enough on the screen that it's no longer touching the edge. Now I can start doing my collision detection to make sure that my asteroids are not touching the opposite edge of the screen. So I've done a little bit of a hack here, basically just to make sure that I'm not yet touching the edge of the screen. Now I can continue with the main movement. So we're going to continue moving at a speed of 5 here, and and we've got a couple of if statements here. Both of them basically trigger an explosion. So if I'm touching the shield, it's going to explode, and if I'm touching Scratch, it's also going to explode, but it's going to explode differently because it's going to explode and make my cat hurt. and it's gonna, but it's still gonna explode the asteroid no matter what happens. Let me show you the asteroid explosion graphic. Let me get to an ordinary asteroid here, and we'll make it visible again. I'm going to move it off the screen because I've just centered it. And if you guys have a look, when I do this define explosion, all it does is it goes to costume 5, which is the costume before the explosion. And this costume isn't even visible. This is actually the arrow costume, but you won't even see it because before we even have a chance to see it, we're going to go next costume and then do a pause and then next costume and then a pause. And as we're changing costumes, we're going to have it slowly fade away. So this is what the final explosion looks like. I'm actually going to attach it to a space or to a letter key here, just so I can show it to you in full screen because it's going to be a little difficult to see here. So let's attach it to the A key and let's max this out. And you can see what the explosion looks like here. Boom, just like that. And it'll only work once, of course, because we're fully ghosted now. All right, anyway, let's attach that back together. So that's going to happen every time. Just for fun, I've done some homemade sound effects here. I did them all with a speaker. I made the explosion go, and I made the cat sound just by going, and that kind of stuff inside my microphone and then sped it up. So let me show you some of the sound effects I got going here. I've got my explosion sound. Whoops. Let me turn my volume back up again. I think I've muted my volume here. There we go. Let's try that sound effect again. There we go. That's my explosion sound effect. I also have some sound effects here for my cat. I've got a cat hurt sound effect. Whoa. And again, I just made that sound myself. I went, meow, and then sped it up using. So, and we've also got a cat dead sound effect here. Let me show you that. So that would just me going, and then again, changing the speed of a little bit. Let's go have a look at our code now and see what I've done with the cat. I've also done a costume. I forgot to mention that. So I've got this costume, and I've also just modified him a little bit to make him look a little terrified, like he'd just been hit by something. Let's go have a look at our code for this. And so inside the cat here, I think my meteors are all basically done, eh? Sorry, I'm jumping around here and I've lost track of where I am. So I've got, let's stick with the meteor for a second, and then we'll look at the Scratch cat code in just a second here. So let me disconnect the cat here right now, just so we don't get him going yet. And over here in the meteor, you can see that, so we've got a couple of different conditions here, and the last one is basically if touching edge. So later on, when we touch the other edge of the screen, we're going to delete this character here. And here we go. So when I run this now, we're going to create our guides. They're going to move 25 steps, and then they're going to start their final approach towards our guy. Now, because our character is going to be floating around it, sometimes the meteors are going to miss him entirely because he's not, they're aiming towards the middle of the screen. Our cat is no longer reliably in the middle of the screen as well. So even when they're being created, they're being created off center, then moved off to the edge of the screen. So that's going to create some near misses as well as hits. And I actually thought that was a good feature. All right, so let's have a look at our meteors now. Now I've still got the, and you can see that it explodes. There we go. So our meteors are working quite nicely right now. We just don't have the event here for our cat to switch back and forth between costumes, and that's what I was going to show you guys next. So let's go back to our original code here, and let's have a look at the cat code. So when I click the green flag, I'm going to switch to my main costume, and here's where I do that swaying around stuff that I was showing you. And everything past this point here is going to be what happens after the cat dies. So this is the basic loop that's going to get him moving around and moving around. We've got a second piece of code here that's basically a when I receive message, and this is what's going to make the cat actually injure himself. So when I receive this message, he's going to start his hurt sound, switch costume. Yeah, yes, Deck.
We've got a viewer on YouTube.
Yes, I know. I'm going to talk to our new viewers in a second. Thanks, Deck. Can you mute, please, buddy? You've got some horrible microphone sounds going there, Deck. Yeah, I'm going to take a little stop at the end of this session here to talk to some of our viewers. We've got some new people chatting on the YouTube. By the way, if you want to say hi on YouTube, I will stop for a second while Deck pointed out to say hi to somebody who I believe is from Vietnam watching us. His name is Viet An Pham. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And he says, your channel is so good, but not many people subscribe. I feel the same way about it, my friend. Please like and share this video and let other people know about it in the Scratch community. I would love to have more viewers. We're up to about 600 subscribers right now, but I think we could do better than that. So please, if you're watching this at home and you like what we're doing, please share it. As I said, I'm going to get along to wide walking remixes in a little bit. Let's go back to our game, though, right now. So here's where the cat hurt comes into it. I'm going to move this out of the way for now, and you can see that when I get that cat hurt message, our cat's going to briefly switch costumes and make that horrible cat hurt sound. Boy, my speakers are turned up a little loud now. All right, so meanwhile, I wanted the character to not just freeze when the game was over. So what I wanted him to do was to start moving when the game was over. So this is one of the reasons that I've used this repeat until loop, so I can put something at the end of the game here. Instead of having a separate event calling what happened at the end of the game, so hi to Chip_Y, who's also watching the stream. Chip, tell us where you're from if you want to get a little extra shout out on the stream, and tell us how old you are. All right, so when I die, as soon as this loop it exits this, it's going to make that dead sound, switch back to that hurt costume, and then we're just going to have him fly away. I've got him basically picking a random direction and then floating away. And we've got this little sign function in here again that's going to make him kind of swirl around while he's moving. So again, we're making use of this sign function to add some random movement to this. So let me show you what that's going to look like. So as soon as I click on this, he's going to, you can see that he floats away, which is kind of cool, just like that. And you can see he continues to sway as he's moving around, which is really cool. And when he hits the edge, he disappears and fades away. Now, I also told the helmet to fade away, to hide, basically, as soon as this repeat until loop. So again, we don't have to do anything to end the game. For these characters, we don't need a broadcast or anything. We just have it running its game loop until the game's over and then have it hide. Remember, of course, to do a show at the beginning of the code here. So that's all there is to it here. And in the end, we've got a fairly good game. I think I've got all the pieces connected here. Let me just reattach this. I also have a little title here. I've decided to do this like a Marvel movie where the title comes up at the end instead of at the beginning. So I've just got a little loop here that makes this graphic appear. I did this graphic over at fontmeme.com, which is a website for creating custom graphics. It's really cool. I've shown it on previous streams before, but do have a look at that if you want to make cool title screens and stuff like this. Let's play the game here quickly, and I'll show you what the final project looks like here. I find that sometimes you have to hit the green flag twice. Whoa, let's turn the volume down here a little bit. All right, and let's max the game out here. All right, so let's restart the game here. And you can see that we can see where our missiles are coming from. Oh, I got hit by one, and one of them missed me. So it's actually a trickier game than it looks like. You can see we die here, and then at the end, our game over screen is supposed to appear, and it's not. I don't know if our code is wrong or if it's just running a little flaky here. There we go. Now I'm fighting off these missiles. That was 2 hits there. There we go. And our character floats away. And where is my end screen? There's still something missing here, I take it. Let's go have a look at my code one more time and see what I forgot to reattach here. So, oh, I think I just have it hidden, and that's the problem. I've set a ghost effect instead of hiding it at the beginning here, and because I manually hid it, I have to manually unhide it. Let's try one more time here, and I'll just kill myself off here. Whoa, that one was a near miss. There we go, 1 hit. There we go. And then at the end of the game, we get the title showing up. There we go. Beautiful. So that is Meteor Storm. You can find it on the Mr. Tomac Scratch channel, which I suggest you guys all have a look at. That's Mr. Tomec, just like on the screen at the top here. And please follow me on Scratch if you're interested in seeing more of my projects online here. Okay, guys, so we're almost out of time here. I did want to show a couple of these wide walking remixes because some of our students have been hard at work instead of watching my stream. Let me show you Abe's remix for starters here. So he did a Mr. T remix. Let's show that right now. Oh no, what has he done? What has he done to me here? Let's have a look. It's going to be a surprise. So here's Abe's remix. Ah, I like it. The square glasses. Nice work. Got to get some. I would love it if you put like a little Mr. T talking thing or something in here. Let me try something like what does the original music sound like? It was like. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a little recording here or something for you here of me talking. So let's do record, and we'll go. I'll do the Tetris theme. Dum 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 dum. There we go. And let's save that. And let's go under green flag here. Forever. Control forever. Boy, my Scratch is slow today. I need a reboot. And we're going to go play sound forever. Remember, you have to, play sound until done. Remember, you have to do a play sound until done if you want a background loop for your music. Otherwise, it's just going to start repeating itself. So let's see what this new remix of Mr. T sounds like. All right, there. All right, Abe, do you like that remix, Abe?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you let me share this file. I'll remix it. You should be able to find it off because it's a remix of your project. You should be able to find it in the in your remix tree for your project, and you can grab the sound effect and put it in your own file if you like, Abe. Meanwhile, I want to see Dex Wide Walker. Oh, he's done two of them. Or no, Kian's done one and Dex done one. Okay, so let's look at one of Kian's projects here. Oh no, it's Mr. T again. Nice. All right, good work, my friend. And what else has Kian done for me here? I'm not even sure what that is. Can someone tell me what that is? It's a meme, right? Can someone tell me what meme that is? Kian? I think we lost Kian there.
Wait, can you show me what?
Yeah, I'm going to show you one more time.
Oh, I didn't know what it is, but it's Kian's new profile picture.
Yeah, wacky. All right here. And one last one, and this is Dex Magnus Carlson. Let's have a look at that. So is he a footballer, Deck?
No, he's the world chess champion.
Oh, the world chess champion. I'm sorry, I'm a little behind in my chess trivia. All right. Thanks for that, Deck. Deck is a big chess fan, and he's done several chess-themed remixes for us here. All right, guys, so that's all the Scratch comment I have for you. I still have the final section, the final episode of Ben's Time Traveler series, and I also have the Minecraft mod review of the week from Thane coming up. I know it's 11 o'clock, so if you guys have to go, then go ahead, but I am going to show Ben's Time Traveler episode here. Sorry, we've been running a little late today, so let's get to that right now. So here is Ben Tait on the future of consoles.
Oh, Mr. T. Hello, Mr. T.
How's it going, guys? This is episode 5 of Time Travelers, where we jump through time, taking a look at big consoles and the games that came out with them. Today, we don't actually have to go back that far, as the console that I teased in my last episode was only introduced back in 1995 in North America.
We did it again.
That
This is
being
episode
the
5.
first ever PlayStation by Sony. But before we get into the episode, it's a tradition that I show you a song that came out during that time period. And here's a song that I finally recognize.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
We did it again. This is
On this. Okay, sorry guys, I put the wrong episode in. I've done it again, but here is the proper one. I apologize for that, and I was busy typing and I didn't even notice. So here we go. Here is the proper episode of Time Traveler. My apologies, everyone.
What's up, guys? Today we're back with our 8th and last episode of Time Travelers. But don't worry, as this is going to be a special one. Today, we're not going back in time, but forward in time, as we cover and predict the future of the gaming industry. So, usually I show you guys a song that came out during the time period, but today we might struggle with that. So instead, just enjoy some nice elevator music while I think of something to do. Just kidding. Let's get on with the episode, where there are lots of things we could talk about. We could talk about AI, 8K gaming, speedy downloads, no discs. But I think the most interesting thing and the future of gaming is VR, virtual reality.
It's the highest resolution headset we've ever made. A blazing fast Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 platform means that experiences are smoother and faster than ever. And 6 gigabytes of...
But as you can imagine, it does cost a little bit. And lots of other headsets like the HP Reverb G2 require a really beefy computer to run as well. So some of them definitely cost a pretty penny. Now, usually this is where I'd show you guys some games, but rather than me building a time machine and recording footage of some new Breath of the Wild 2 game in the future, I thought I'd show you some of the best VR games out now. Starting with Half-Life.
Combine channel's really picking up. They know you're coming.
There's Minecraft VR. Project Cars 2. Beat Saber, which is a really popular one.
We're playing.
Firewall Zero Hour, and these are just a few of them. There are tons of games.
Under 6, skip. Alright, let's get in position for breach.
And as you can see, the graphics aren't as intensive as some of the games we love nowadays. But remember, this technology is pretty new, and if there's anything you should know from this series, is that things improve. And if the Oculus Quest 2 is the Magnavox Odyssey, then I wonder what's in store for us down the line.
Except the Oasis.
Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the series.
All right. Sorry about that technical glitch again, guys. So thanks, Ben, for putting together a fantastic series. I'm going to be releasing this as a Chromeworks clip, the entire 8-part series. And so if you guys want to get another look at it, then we're going to have it posted on our channel very, very soon. So you can look forward to that. And lastly, but not leastly, we have Thane back with his latest Minecraft mod, which isn't actually a mod. We're looking at the Caves and Cliffs add-on. So here it is right now.
Have you ever wished? Wait, no, there's no wishing again, because guess what? It's time for part 2 of the Caves and Cliffs update that I am reviewing. And Chromeworks Club, and today I'm back with another, Minecraft update. Because today we're looking at part 2 of the Caves and Cliffs update. Anyways, let's start. We have a few items here. The first item I've got here is a spyglass. The spyglass is, a telescope. See how far away that is? Now let's closer in view. Now you've got a telescope in Minecraft. The second thing are these drip leaves. And look at what happens when you stand on them. Yep, that's right, folks. These items are, they're temporarily solid, but they come back up after a little bit. Just like that. So, yeah. Here, let me go ahead and clear. Let me go ahead and clear the weather. So, that's settled. Time for our next thing. Next thing we got, folks, are these flowering gazelles and shroom lights. These are just decorations blocks that you'll find in caves, in lush caves. These are like little trees, and these are lights. If we set the time to nighttime, so if we do /time set night, they glow. Now I can set the time back to day. So yeah, and our final thing for today are these candles. Our final item are these candles. And you can make them grow as well, up to 4 stack. And I think you can light them with flint and steel. I think. Look, and you can do different colors. Red candles, blue candles. Although you cannot have different candles stacked up against each other. So yeah, and then you just do this. And look. And that's, part 2. I definitely did it quicker than last time, I'm pretty sure. And, thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to the Chromeworks Club, and I'll see you next time with another great mod review.
Thanks for that, Thane. That was another interesting little review. So looking forward to seeing more Minecraft content from you.
Recipe, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. You should be able to hear me now.
I can hear you, Mr. G. Must just be a local internet thing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm good here now. I don't know what's going on with you, Deck, but the rest of us are all good. Okay, so anyway, okay, so meanwhile, I'm going to wrap it up for this week. So, Deck. Yeah, let's not worry about the audio for now, guys.
Can't hear you either.
Okay. Well, I don't get that because my microphone's turned on and everything's good, and some of you guys can hear me and some of you guys can't, so I'm a little bit confused here. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for this week. We're way over time, and I'll be back next week telling you a little bit about our new summer program that's coming up starting on July 5th. We're going to be doing at least 2 or 3 days a week of daily live streams every morning. It's going to be a little bit like COVID Computer Camp all over again, starting July 5th. So next week on the live stream, I'm going to be giving you a little preview of what we have in mind for that. So looking forward to seeing that. In the meantime, thanks, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. We're a little bit late today, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.